Today's the day of my going away, and it's already been a very rough morning. I'm so sad. I don't know what's going on. Actually, I completely know what's going on, and I don't want to talk about it because I know it's going to make me look crazy. I've been looking forward to this for months, but now the day is here, and I'm freaking sad. And I honestly, yeah, it's just, yeah, whatever. All right, I'm all dressed and ready. Let's go say goodbye.
Emotional as I was yesterday. I said it when I was introducing a Battle Buddy shout out for Lieutenant Peace yesterday. When I went around to the different flights to ask about who do you want to recognize that has been supportive of you, I can't. Every single flight had said, I want to shout out Lieutenant Peace. What I want to share with you all is that she shows up. She shows up when it counts. She shows up for her team in RMO and CSS. She shows up for all the other sections when it comes to money-related items. I have never been in a place where the communication and transparency about budget is so clear that you feel like you know all the information. That's because of what you do. You go to a place and sometimes you feel like RMO's hiding some money somewhere. That's how it feels sometimes. But you don't feel that here because of how she communicates and how she communicates with you. So she shows up for her team, she shows up for the other flights, and she shows up for her wingman. She's there to support them through all of the things. And so when someone says that walking with her in the evenings makes Edwards feel less lonely, man, that's why we're a family.
Oh, that's right. So that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I think the contest should be how many other people you can make cry. You guys are doing a good job.
No, I'm just a crier anyway. Anyway, okay. So I'm gonna get through this. So I echo all of the sentiments from everyone else. Like Colonel Patton said, you show up and it's loud and it's professional and it's beautiful. So Lieutenant Peace was here for me during a vulnerable time in my career. I was a captain, but I was a new MSC, and I got dual-hatted, and she immediately came to my office and was like, okay, we're gonna do GM together. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. She was like, you're not gonna fail, and I'm gonna see to that, and we can sit in here all day and night until you understand what's going on. And she held my hand.
Oh, yes, I'm like, I want to see everything's
I'm
dry.
dry.
Everything's dry. I don't typically talk a lot at going ways usually because I'm seeing patients. And so I usually come in and say hello and then I pop out. But like I said, I'm gonna make this patient wait. Because I had to say something about Lieutenant Peace. When I first got here, I was very different than I am now. More hot-headed. But I remember seeing Lieutenant Peace and I was like, oh, she looks cool. And I tend to like look at someone and say, you're my friend. And so I did. And I rolled up in her office and I found out she was getting married. And we bonded over the fact that we were both getting married like around the same time. And then I found out she was the GPM. And I was like, oh, you might be my enemy though. But unlike a lot of my colleagues, and I have a residency group of like, there's 9 of us, and everyone actually is an enemy to their GPM. And she's the only one that became my friend. Because she actually like cared about, what does your day look like? What do you actually like do? And I don't think I've ever had anyone do that, like step in that role, even from like GPMs. And the crazy part is that once she did it, everyone else did too. And it like trickled down. And I was like, every GPM after her has probably been my friend. And then she went to RMO and then taught me about things like appropriations. I didn't even know that was a word. And like bags of money, it was wild. But we stayed friends. And yes, we walked twice a week. With James. James started this, and so like let's not forget James. But when James left us, it was just us two on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and because I don't get to stay here very often on the weekends, and I'm away from my family during the week, I had a friend. Hold on. And she really became family. And yeah, we would talk about like things for work, but then we would talk about actual like life things, and it really like made the week. Like I could get through a week, and real bad weeks in the summer, like the summer was nasty, but I'd be like, I gotta go. I'm walking with peace.
You know, one of my favorite quotes from Juan Pablo was, always give more kindness than it seems necessary, because the person who's receiving it might need it more than you will ever know. Thank you for being an amazing human. Thank you for being a stellar officer. I mean, everybody knows that here. You're such an amazing. You represented this medical group so well, so great. And we thank you for that. And I thank you personally with all the stuff that I've given you, and you completed those things, and I appreciate those things, me personally.
You know I'm gonna cry, but I don't regret that. I love that I feel emotions enough, and I'm proud enough to have it all spill out. So it doesn't bother me at all, and I encourage you guys to feel all the feels. There's something beautiful about having feelings. But I'm not gonna look at you, so I can echoing some of the things we've already heard, I want to start with your job as a GPM and as an MSC in general. We have had, I don't know what it was like 5 years ago, but I know Major Donahue and how he approached things, and his teamwork, and how he believed in growing and mentoring his MSCs was really powerful. And Major Moreno has come in, and she is trying to wrap her arms around all of the things, all the processes. But the biggest thing about the way that they've led, and the way that we encourage everyone to lead here, is by letting you guys be yourselves. And that is really a great thing with this group of MSCs in particular, because they're wonderful people. And so if you let them be wonderful people, then they will do that naturally. You don't have to force them to do that. And so whether you stay in uniform or you go solve the myriad problems with access to healthcare in our underserved areas, or anything else that you do, I know that you're going to be wildly successful, and you're going to leave just a swath of joy and privilege and great gratitude behind, because we all should still be learning. We should all be still trying to grow, and growth can be painful, but it can also be joyous. And that is what you have brought to this medical group, and that is what you have brought.
This was a mess. What a mistake.